earlier, you and me were talking about how back in the day cars changed every year, and the benefits and the drawbacks for that.
Yeah, because and I don't know what they were thinking back in the day, but the innovation of that had to have been crazy. I mean, to be able to have had factories to facilitate
Retool
that much
every year.
Yeah, everything. I mean,
and then you could just roll out those designs.
Yeah.
That quickly. Next.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of it, a lot of it was just facelifting.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, you still have to retool. You still have to change out the machinery. You still have to design the new parts.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
Yeah, and as far as I don't know much about it, those old cars personally, but I would be surprised if any of those parts in between year to year even fit on anything else. It's not like you could
and that's the other thing. They didn't just change the outside; they changed the inside.
Right. That's what kind of what I mean. It's not like you couldn't just pop a, the front bumper from this, and then the headlights actually still work.
The headlights might. They're all sealed beam.
Yeah.
But
they might even be the wrong shape. Or who knows? That's what I don't actually know. But
I mean, just because I have a car from that era where they were doing that and they were wild changes, we go to the 61 to 64 generation Buick LeSabre. So 61 looked like that, 62 looked like that. They look extremely different. On the surface, they're still a big four-door slab, but nothing's the same. The grill's different, the bumper's different, the fenders are different, the body lines on the quarter panel are entirely different. And then 63, they changed again, and then 64, they change again, and it's not just that the interiors are wildly different. This one had a horizontal gauge cluster that was actually sat flat and aimed up, and it was all printed backwards, and then there was a mirror that was in your field of view that reflected it so you could see it, and you could actually adjust it if you were taller or shorter. You could tilt that mirror to keep that in your view. And then by the time they got to my car, the interior was just a regular horizontal sweep gauge with a couple of dummy lights and a fuel gauge. And then for the next one, they actually moved to round gauges. The entire and that's not even talking about the rest of the dash. That's just the instrument cluster.
Yeah.
Every year, entirely different.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, even today, we have, there's
how long's the Dodge Challenger been around?
Yeah. But just in the fact of, there's so many parts that are interchangeable, and then you would think that this part would work on a couple year older. It's actually different. We're man, but imagine back then, not a goddamn thing.
No. And the biggest thing that we were talking about was the 1970 Chevelle. That is the Chevelle.
Yeah.
They only made them for 1 year. So now, however many decades later, it's there's only this many of them as compared to the 10th generation Honda Accord. How many millions of well, maybe not millions, but how many of those are there?
Yeah. Well, there was a span of 4 years, and
without even a facelift.
Right. If you didn't even know any better, you'd be it's the same car.
Actually, the
Accord actually is a bad example because they had the J-Lo taillights, and then they had the...
Well, I'm talking about modern Accords.
Well, sure, fine. But I guess I was equating it to ones that I knew for sure had a long running. But even the thing that comes in my head is the F-150 from 2015 to 20.
Oh, dude, I think the Super Duties, the F-250 and above, use the same taillights as the late '90s Super Duties, all the way until a couple years ago.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, that's enough. And trucks. Obviously, being far more utility, especially when you get to the 2500, F-250s, then that's even more to the point where they're just let's just keep it simple. But F-150 still falls into that category as well. But there's so much of that, which are on one hand it feels like laziness, on the other hand it's actually probably convenient for a lot of consumers to buy parts and remanufacture parts, and
you know, 30 years on.
Yeah, 30 years
on.
There'll
be plenty of parts.
Yeah, exactly.
But was it the 9th or... Yeah, the 9th gen Civic. When it first came out, people hated it, and Honda gave it a facelift after 2 years, and everyone was like, wow, they rushed that. They got that out the door quick.
Right.
That was 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and then back in this day, they were just every year. Okay, now what can we do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. We'd love to I mean, I guess all those guys would be dead by now, but I would love to hear a conversation of what it was like to
How
be
much
designing
crack
cars.
did you need to do to keep on top
It
of
was
this?
cocaine, methamphetamines, whatever.
Well,
whatever
methamphetamines were just
Elvis
diet pills back then.
Yeah,
so.
right. Yeah, right. Yeah, whatever Elvis was on, they definitely had that shit. All kinds of tablets of salts.
Alcohol and cigarettes.
Alcohol, yeah. Yeah. Damn. But yeah, it is cool. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, there's kind of two sides of that coin. One side, I enjoy the difference, having this innovation and the different models that you get out of it. But we've seen it backfire as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where you were just talking about the Chevelle, where 1970, it was great. The year before, kind of sucked. Year afterwards,
in your opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion, the 69 I'm not a huge fan of, especially when you go from 69 to 70. It's such an upgrade from 19 to 70, and then 71, 72. It's kind of falling off. They're adding
You heard it here first, folks.
They're
Keith
adding,
hates the 69 Chevelle.
not a fan, but yeah, I mean, I'll go on record and say I hate it. We going on record and just trying to say we hate stuff?
Well, I mean, the last clip about me talking about the Supra was cut in a way that made it seem like I really hate that car. I don't hate that car.
You hate it. No,
I
you
don't
hate it.
hate it. I don't like how it
hates
looks. I'm glad it exists. I love what it stands for, and I hope Toyota continues to make cars like that.
Yeah.
I just wish it looked better.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you pull up the 69 Camaro. Or Chevelle. I think we had some Chevelle stuff.
It was in this this tab with all this other crap. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so
wait, did you say 69 Chevelle or 70?
69. Because the 69 looks good, It's not a bad looking car, but it just once you know what the 70 looks like, and then you go back, it's that compared to a 70.
Yeah, I mean, the 70 Chevelle is the Chevelle.
It's crazy. And then a little bit of slight facial structure changes to the front end after the next 2 years, it just falls down, Whereas in if they were doing this today,
that body style could have lasted for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years for sure. People would have loved it.
Or, if this Chevelle was made by Dodge, it could last for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think even the Mustang kind of had that, where it had 2 or 3 years of that first generation Mustang where they brought back the retro.
They just 2005. They held that till 2010. They changed it.
Yeah,
and even then it was still that style, but much like they did back in the day, tweaks.
Yeah, that still might be my favorite one.
The 2010.
Yeah,
I like the 2010.
Yeah, that was good. And even that one, it was. I think that one even went up to 2013. Another 3 years.
Yeah, I think
they kept it. Probably slight little changes, but for the most part, again, if you didn't know, you couldn't tell the difference. But,
yeah, the 20.
But for that reason, it's nice. I don't know. I don't know if the market can withstand that much change so quickly. But yeah, that's just good stuff right there.
Yeah, I liked this body style Mustang.
Yeah, it was good. Because it still really holds.
Yeah, and they brought back the shoulder hunch. I don't think the 2005 had that. I think it was straight back.
Yeah. Now, let's look up the 2025.
Mustang?
Yeah, let's just bring it. I would like to just see the difference between that and where we've come. Oh, we're still doing well. Mustang's doing good. I do. I love them all. And I feel like Ford has done the best job of styling
of modernizing while still keeping it there. Yeah, because, the Camaro, by many, many metrics, is actually the better car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah.
I'd still take one.
Yeah.
I don't hate the car, but, GM has this thing with just making the lower grille fucking massive and squeezing the headlights down to nothing, and I'm just not a fan of that styling.
What does Camaro have to compete against the GTD?
Nothing.
Really?
No, the GTD's in its own category.
Yeah, because Hennessy had the Exorcist. Yeah.
To go against the Dodge Demon.
Yeah.
And then Ford
RTR.
I guess RTR might have been doing something.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
was a GT
just random side tang. You know how we've been driving all the way down to Maryland for work lately.
Yeah.
I was.
No, I forgot.
Yeah. Somehow I forgot that.
Yeah.
No, I was following this Ford F-150 that wasn't like cutting up traffic, but it was moving with purpose.
Sure.
And I realized on the back that there was a Roush badge. I'm like, oh shit.
Nice.
So eventually I end up pulling up next to it. We both got off the highway at the same exit, and I ended up pulling next to it, and I see a little old lady driving this thing.
No way, dude.
Yeah. She was, like I said, she wasn't like speeding, wasn't cutting up traffic, but she was driving with purpose. Like she'd be cruising along and then like go to pass someone and get over. And
what year?
Definitely like post 2015.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Don't
I'm
know
trying
exactly.
to figure out because I know like the new ones today have.
See, there's the other thing. If they change them every year, you'd be able to say for sure what year it was.
Right. Yeah. If you were keeping up.
If you were keeping up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. That's why, like, even you, like, rested on the shoulder of just knowing so much about Buicks to be able to talk about it. Because like, it would be.
I know they changed the Impala every year, but I could not name what was what year.
Yeah.
I could tell you which one came before 1962 because they got rid of the bubble front A-pillars that my Buick has because my Buick's a 62.
Yeah.
But Buick also did that. There's basically any GM car from that era, if it's got the really sharply curved A-pillar, 1962 or older.
Yeah.
After that, they just went straight pillars.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, but I know like those Roush, like the new one today is still, I think it's a supercharged V8 still.
For
the Roush, like
the trucks?
F-150. Yeah. Because like those, because I was kind of went down a rabbit hole one day just for funsies because I was wondering if they still sold, because the new Raptors don't come in V8s anymore. So they used to have like a V8 version.
Did they get rid of them again? Again?
Because
the original came with a V8, then
Yes.
they dropped it. I
Yeah.
think there was outcry, and then Ford brought back the Raptor. And I think they gave it the 6.2.
Yes, that's what the Roush one was as well. It's a 6.2 supercharged.
Okay.
Which is pretty sick, but
Yeah.
fun. And dude, 0 to 60 time, maybe I think it's like 4 seconds.
Roush F-150?
Yeah, which is crazy. And I think that the Raptor is actually faster with the twin turbo V6.
Yeah, 3.9 seconds.
3.9
for
seconds
the regular
dude.
cab and 4.1 if you got the big cab.
Yeah, that's insane, dude. Like just think
Oh,
about
it's called the Nightmare.
what is
The Roush.
ah
The F-150 Nightmare.
and not night, NITE.
Yeah. We spell it the cool way.
Cool way. Is NITE even a word? Because like knight in armor is like KN.
K-N-I-G-H-T, and then night is N-I-G-H-T. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I type in
Can we
night.
use that in a sentence?
Simplified spelling of night. So no.
Yeah, it's not even a word.
It's night for dummies.
Way to go, Ford.
Roush.
Roush. Ah, okay, yeah, right. So
I was
a Roush
elected for
anyways.
speed, not to read.
Yeah, so then look up the 0 to 60 for the Raptor.
Roush Raptor or just the Raptor?
I don't know if they make a Roush Raptor. I think they make a Raptor and then Roush makes one.
5.6 seconds.
Wow.
While the Raptor R, with its supercharged V8, can do it in 3.7.
Oh. So, but again, it's still that supercharged V8 is still taking the cake.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I went down that rabbit hole actually a while ago, and I wasn't sure. Because
Oh, it's a 5.2. It's not the 6.2. 5.2.
5.2. Okay.
700 horsepower, 640 pound-feet
Yeah.
of torque. Not bad.
Which I'm surprised. I mean, even with that being like the new engine today, this is all today, right? This is like the newest.
I'm assuming.
Okay, because you and I have talked about this on the podcast before, but the new Godzilla 6.2, right?
I mean, that's
Isn't
the
that
big
the
engine that
engine we
Ford
were just-
makes.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Godzilla 6.2, which is coming in like the F-250s and stuff. So maybe that's why it's not in the F-150 because it's not an actual option.
Oh, look at that. On Ford's website, it says it actually makes 720 horsepower. As long as you're running premium fuel.
Interesting.
So yeah, she quick. She big quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's like 8,000 pounds moving from 0 to 60 in less than
It's
4
not
seconds.
quite that heavy.
8,700 pounds.
Towing capacity.
Oh, I thought that's what it said. My bad. How heavy is it?
Probably somewhere in the 5,000 pound range.
5,000? You think so? Let's
Probably
look it up.
about as heavy as a BMW M5.
Just put in weight right there.
Oh, I spelled that wrong. Curb weight. 5,900. So a little heavier than a BMW M5.
So it's kind of like right between what you and I just said. You were close.
I said 5, you said 8.
Well, you know, it's almost the middle. But yeah, okay, fine. But still, I mean, that's a whole lot. I mean, it's like one X5, which is also nuts. And I hate the X5 is that big, and that, or wait, wasn't it? Isn't the was it the X5 was that big, or actually was it the M5?
The M5 is the one that weighs more than a single cab regular F-150.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, not X5.
That's why I keep
M5.
saying it's only slightly heavier than the BMW M5.
Yeah, sorry. I missed that punchline. My fault.
You missed it like 3 times, man. You're leaving me fucking hanging out here.
I'm just going to edit that out.
Just crudely edit in you laughing.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, now just clip that and just stick it right in anytime you hear me reference the M5.
Ha.
Yeah, there you go.
Good. This podcast is so good. Dude.
We know what we're doing.
We rule. Well, we've gone on about F-150s for a bit, so we should... weirdly, we got off track. We never do that. So
No,
what
that
else
never
you
happens
got?
here.
What else?
What else?
What else?
I mean, sticking with the old car thing. I remember, I was telling you before we started that, I don't know, like during lunch or something, I got this weird itch to look at how the old Ford Gran Torino stacked up to the Chevy Chevelle, which is how we ended up getting on Chevelles in the first place.
Yeah.
And I found this really old article that compared the Torino, the Chevelle, and the Plymouth Roadrunner. Yeah, in 1970. Well, when these were new for 1970. So I think this article was actually written in 69. In fact, the Chevelle was a prototype Chevelle.
Oh, wow.
But I tried to like skim through it earlier. I couldn't find that same like line, but I remember them saying that the Chevelle being made by GM, who had like racing experience and whatnot at the time, handled like a Greyhound. It was really nimble and agile.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. But this is the article. I'll just put that up there. But yeah, I mean, you know, I guess we talked about that like being comparative. I'm like, okay, sure, you know, but we're like, yeah, 1970 though, that was like, you know, we had, you said Jaguar, there's Porsche, you know,
the
Ferraris
Europeans
doing
did
things.
exist.
Yeah. But just, you know, obvious, you know, just putting the obvious out there, just saying like, hey man, like there was other shit. Like this article didn't leave fucking Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like, god damn.
Oh, and the other thing that was really funny is they were coining these like cars here, these you know, high performance. They have handling packs, like they all have special tires and uprated springs and high tech features like anti-sway bars.
Yeah, high tech, dude.
But all, you know, they were calling this class of cars supercars.
Crazy.
And I mean, this is after the Miura came out. You know, the original.
Bro, the Corvette
supercar
is out. What are they talking about?
Well,
Supercar? The Corvette is out.
I don't think supercar in this, and this is just why I like reading these old articles.
Have they seen the Ford GT? The GT40? Obviously, it's still at that point.
It gives you a glimpse into a different time where terminology was different. I don't think supercar meant what it means today.
Yeah.
It just meant like this is a regular car, but more.
Yeah, right. And you had mentioned that the rest of the article went on about like new antifreeze. Like,
oh no, yeah, that's right.
Like,
at the bottom, there's a there's an ad right here for a revolutionary new antifreeze tester, and this is like,
oh, that a tester.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you were like, oh, I have one of these.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this is when they came out. This is brand new.
Yeah.
This is exciting technology.
Yeah, dude. And that says it was $1.89.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
$1.89. And you have to send like a check or money order into this company and they'll mail it to you out.
That's crazy.
That's how it used to work. There was no internet.
Yeah.
But
you guys don't have Amazon?
But yeah,
I still write checks today.
I, on very rare occasions, write checks.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
if you get like a speeding ticket, ask me how I know.
Yeah. But, I like reading about these cars in their day because, like, if you look at a retrospective review where, like, someone now takes a stock Chevelle and then they go and drive it on a track and quarter mile and, brake tests and all that and do, like, your standard issue road review of a car, everything they say is going to be colored by their experience with modern-day cars and what they have, what we have now. So no one would ever say the Chevelle was a good handling car by today's standards.
Right.
But back then, that thing was, in its class, like one of the best handling cars. And I'm not saying that you can't make these things handle. Before anyone jumps on us like they did talking about how we don't know that you can turbo a fucking 2JZGE, by the way.
Yeah. That's actually...
I swear,
Man,
you see
I don't
a
wanna
30-second clip and then you assume we hate Fast and Furious and don't know a goddamn thing about strapping a turbo to a non-turbo car.
Yeah.
We had Furman on this podcast. We talked about all he would do is strap a fucking turbo onto a car that probably shouldn't have one.
Right.
We're familiar with the idea.
Yeah. Which is like a great... I mean, I'm glad that you actually brought that up because we should have addressed this probably sooner. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then... like seeing all the comments too that like flew in on that post as well was like a lot of people were just like missing like the fun intention.
They were
of
missing
that.
the point. Yes,
Yeah,
we
like
realize
everyone...
the floor falls off of the Eclipse. Yes, we know Danger to Manifold makes no goddamn sense. Yes, we know Brian's Eclipse isn't the turbo model. Yes, we know Jesse's car doesn't have brakes. Everyone talks about that.
Yeah.
We brought it up because we hadn't heard people talking about it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. And it's a fun, silly movie that like is honestly what's sad is probably the most realistic out of all of them.
Yeah. That's the most
So,
grounded in reality.
Yeah. So I mean to just blow holes through it is fun. And we blow holes through it like knowing that it's also still our favorite movie.
Yeah.
Like we love it. We cherish that
It's
movie.
campy. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah. So
And one
yeah,
more
but if people
thing I want to
yeah.
bring up because it's again one more just that people just kept like fucking missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
He pops the hood and goes 2JZ. No shit.
Right.
Yes, I know he didn't say 2JZ GTE. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
We only got 2Js and Supers here.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only reason he would have a surprise reaction at all is if it was the good engine.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was my point. I was like, that's what they were expecting to see when they popped that hood. Was that it would be like, I was like, oh no shit, like it's a GTE. Like let's dump some money in.
Like, could you
And so,
imagine
like
if this movie was made like decades in the future?
Yeah.
And the 10-second car is like a 2020 Mustang, and they pop the hood, and it's an EcoBoost, and
Right.
and they're like, no way.
yeah, oh my god, yeah. It's like no. Yeah. Anyway, we did get distracted again. So.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I was talking about, but it was literally a spur of the moment. It reminded me of that.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah. But hey, well, thanks everybody for the comments. we enjoyed hearing all of the things and obviously we all can learn something. So it's fun to have the
Stay
community
toxic. You feed our
discussion.
algorithm.
Yeah, community discussions are good and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like reading most of them. Facebook I checked out. So, but before that, we appreciate it, man. And if you haven't seen it yet, go look at the Fast and Furious clip on our Instagram and Facebook. So, fun stuff. It actually would be a fun thing. I feel like of all things, just to keep like on this tangent, like because of that, we should just do a GE build. We should just do one.
You said we didn't know how to fucking build.
Oh
a
yeah,
G-
you said we didn't
don't know
how?
shit about GEs. I'm gonna fucking build a 1,000 horsepower GE right now.
Yeah, we should just do one out of like just spite. Cars. What else you got?
Well, we can talk about.
Oh, so where we left, let's just bring it back. We'll touch back on what we just talked about, how like the Chevelle in its era of like the 1970s, give or take, it was like the temperature was hot and cold. It was crazy. 1970 was its hottest, crazy. Now, personally, I feel like the Camaro has been a steady hot temperature its entire life. There's not a single Camaro that you could pull up and hand me that I would not gladly take or even pay money for. I think every Camaro that's ever been made has got its own beauty in every way, you know? And I think I have an especially weird soft spot for IROC Camaros.
Yeah, IROC, the third gen.
The third gen, the boxy
The
boys.
mullet mobile.
Yeah. Dude.
Everyone loves an IROC.
Everybody loves an IROC, man.
Makes you want a full on mullet.
Yeah, and then the Catfish Camaro is always the one that is that's more iconic for it being like the poor man's Corvette kind of vibe.
Yeah,
and it's such a beautiful car. Look. Yeah, it's very aggressive looking car. So you always got respect for one of those. But yeah, the new Camaro, you know, like the one that was in the Transformer movie, and then on, like every one has just looked good, and it's gotten better and better. You know, they just keep pumping them out. I forget
if it was the 5th gen or 6th gen. There was one like facelift kind of iteration of the Camaro that I just could not get behind, though. I mean, like, again, functionally, it's a fantastic car. It's built on GM's Alpha platform, I think. Not the Epsilon platform. Yeah, the GM Alpha platform, and that is one of the best handling chassis like on the market. Like, we're talking that underpins the Cadillac ATS, the CTS, and all that, and like you get the CTS like Blackwing to go up against like a BMW M5 or the ATS ATS-V to go up against like the M3, and like every single publication I've read on that says the Cadillac out-handles and is much more engaging and better to drive than the BMW.
Damn.
So the Camaro, especially in its like last iterations, supremely capable car. But I'm going to disagree with you, and I think that they're kind of not the best looking. I think that's where GM missed the most. Like, I think
Bro.
Too much grill. You make the headlights all squishy.
Shut your mouth. That is a beautiful machine. Leave that up. Leave that there.
Too much grill. Headlights squished. Also, the visibility is completely, like, just bunker.
Boy, you know how I'm built.
That's worse for you.
I would take one still. Dog, I'm going back to it. That is a beautiful machine. Oh my God, it's good. It's so good.
I'd like this better, actually.
Go back.
Don't like that.
Go back one more. It's beautiful.
Don't like that. Don't like that.
The red
right
goes
there.
crazy.
Much prefer the version after it.
Okay, go back to the red one, and then I want you to pull up. You're going further away.
I'm just looking through all the pictures of Camaros.
Well, I'm on something. So now pull up the new Mustang. And if you do me a favor, make it red.
What year?
Brand new.
Brand new.
If that's the brandest new Camaro, then
that's not.
What do you think the year was for that Camaro?
2015 or so.
For real?
Yes.
Be positive about that.
Oh boy.
Did we lose it?
That's a Camaro ZL1.
I guess
2016.
All right, yeah, you did nail that.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at the 2016 Mustang.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that better.
A better angle. I want to do it back and forth.
Well, if you want it in red, that might be a little bit.
Well, you didn't even type in red.
Difficult.
Ford red Mustang. Fine. It's fine.
It works.
Fine. It did work. Okay, fine.
I'm trying to find like a good match for that angle. Okay, you know what? You need to come over here.
Hang out with the boys.
Not
Not a convertible.
It's fine.
Just put in coupe. Put in coupe and then put in like 1080p or what 1080p. Is it 1080p? That work? High resolution. You put in high resolution, you'll have better angle. You have smart people. Please do it.
Smart people.
Yeah, do it. Or high res. Okay. You gotta put 1080p.
That 1080. No.
If you just put it in, I'm telling you it'll work. All right, we're dying in the water on the podcast.
Because you're picky about the fucking picture.
Well, look, I'm just trying to do the Mustang a favor.
People know what a Mustang looks like.
Oh my God, perfect. Right there. I want to do it a burnout.
Not It's pretty damn close.
It's pretty damn close. I told you. Let that be on the record that I was right about how to Google things. All right. So, Camaro.
I like the Mustang.
For real? Go back. Keep switching back and forth. Give it a couple seconds.
What do you mean for real? I already told you I don't like the front end. The grill's too big. The eyes are too squinty.
Okay, well just keep it. Oh my god, dude.
I'd rather have the Mustang.
All right. So if you made it this far into the podcast, I would implore you to please go into the comments and say in 2016 if you would rather have the Mustang or the Camaro. And like I know it's a tough choice, but I'm just saying because like to me it still is a tough choice. But like
actually, you know what? This still isn't fair. You know why? That's a ZL1.
I was gonna say
we need a GT500
or GT3. Yeah, it's a 500 this year.
Yeah, I don't think that was
350 was way later. Well, I was trying. I was trying to say, I wanted to make sure that you're like, you're being picky, but I'm like, yeah, well, it's got to be a good picture.
Oh no, the GT350 was out.
Yeah, I thought it was a GT350 because Joel had one.
Well, if the GT350 is on the table, that doesn't help this case at all.
Why?
The 5.2 Voodoo V8 that revs to 8,000 RPM.
Yeah, that is sick. That is sick. Well, look, I mean, like I told you, it was even for me. I'm not picking one or the other.
You're the one who told me to look up the Mustang.
But I'm telling you, but I'm just saying that like you were saying that it was so much better. But I'm trying to tell you like how close they are to being aesthetically both beautiful, and I love them both.
I don't.
But I'm also saying like I don't know, man. I just
look. You can like it. You can tell me that they're close and that it's a beautiful car. It's not going to change my mind. I don't like that fucking grill.
All right, you heard it here, folks.
I like
Adrian
what they did
hates
right after.
the Camaro.
2017. I like the 2017. I think that looks great.
It's okay. It's good. I think it's all good. I love them all.
I think that looks so much like it doesn't look.
I'm way less picky.
And then there's this. I hate this.
I think I just want so much.
I hate this. 2019.
Yeah,
I do not like that.
I think it looks worse, but I still would say like if like does that guy need to be fired? No, I think it's all right.
That designer needs to be fired.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. And then,
I mean, look, I mean that's an LT1, but still, that's a good looking car.
The overall silhouette and the body shape is fine. I just don't. GM doesn't know what they're doing here.
Yeah,
it's confusing.
Maybe I am not being critical enough. This could be very true, you know. But and perhaps it's my lack thereof having that I just give
like this.
I give. Yeah, that's good. It is a much more balanced Camaro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I've always like not.
Oh, that's.
I've not been so.
There it is. That's what I couldn't put my finger on. Why I don't like it. I don't like if you're gonna have a trapezoidal grill. I do not like it nearly as much when the narrow end's on the bottom versus when the wide end is on the bottom.
Ah, okay. I see what you're saying. Want to go back and forth to that? Sorry.
Am I gonna be lucky? Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
There's tons of cars that have that design element, and it bothers me.
And then back again.
And like I couldn't even put words to it until I just noticed it now. So even subconsciously, I don't like it.
Yeah, it is hard. Sometimes, like that's why, like I feel like I hope people appreciate like
that's also why I like the FRS and GR86 better than the BRZ.
Yeah,
the BRZ's got the that shape.
Yeah,
the FRS had that shape.
Yeah. But just like I hope people appreciate back at home if you're listening to this, like how difficult it is to like just like look at something and then be like, okay, cool, let me articulate my thought about it and then make words happen. You know, it's like
getting your thoughts together, especially under the pressure of like being on a screen.
I mean, sometimes I forget that we're even like recording any of this.
Oh yeah, when you and me start arguing about how the Camaro doesn't look good. It does look good.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes. I'm sure like people are like, "Can you guys please give this up?" Nobody gives a fuck. But I mean, just trying to like really articulate your thoughts aside from just being like,
Camaro good, no Camaro bad.
Yeah, and then again, like I'm not saying that the Camaro is better than the Mustang. What I'm trying to say is just how good the Camaro looks,
except for those couple generations.
In your personal opinion.
In my personal opinion.
in your personal opinion, you hate the Camaro. So that's gonna be that's gonna be the clickbait, is that you hate the Camaro.
Yeah, because I definitely didn't just say in many measurable aspects the Camaro is the better car than the Mustang. Definitely did not make that point loud and clear before we started this whole thing.
AI generated comment.
I do like the 5th generation better, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and we talk about this a bunch, about like the new styling, and there's a bunch of it where I'm just like, it's very loud and like big grills and like extra shapes in places that like you're just not for. And, you know, I'm here for it. I'm going to like kind of out my own like contradictory opinion. Yeah. Because I know I've said on this podcast and to you and to many people, like, one of my biggest issues with modern cars is like there's too much design going on where it's just like shapes clashing. Yeah, the problem with modern cars is that they're new and they're not from the 90s. And that's not even just that, because or the 60s. I did some self-reflecting. Okay. And I love 50s cars and 60s cars. But more focusing on the 50s cars. What do 50s cars have? They have a lot of styling going on. They've got like shiny chrome, big fins, all that. There's a lot of shapes in play. Not 50s, right? I thought 50s were more round. Early 50s were kind of round still, and then towards the late 50s you had fins, and then the 60s is where they got rid of the fins. Really? I thought the 60s was My car is 1962. Yeah, okay. Okay, so like the Impala with like the crazy taillights, like the wings taillights. 50s. 50s? Okay, 50s. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But in my defense, I do think that the styling was, in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases, was a lot more cohesively tied together. Yeah, so like the craziness, the loudness that it was all flowing in the same direction. You know, it was all... Somebody thought about it. It wasn't just like, well, I got to create the bumper, so I made it crazy. That's a great way of putting it, actually. A lot of modern cars nowadays have like all these crazy features that don't fit together, so it does look like multiple people designed parts of it and someone just smashed it together and hoped for the best. Yeah. Yeah, whereas like if you had taken off like that cool front bumper off of the Camaro that I was just like creaming over, you know, like it would be half the car. Like half of, and again, maybe you would actually prefer it with the bumper off. You know, it would make the car for you, and it would break the car for me. You know, but yeah. So you know, that's the neat thing about how you feel about something, is that it doesn't have to make sense. I like the busy styling of the 50s. I hate the busy styling of today. Yeah, and like if you feel like you can turbo a GE. You're wrong. Can't be done. 2JZ. Literally can't be done. Yeah. We would know. Yeah, we would know. I've built 1 million of them this morning. You put a turbo on, the car just catches on fire. Yeah. Like before you even started. It's crazy. Yeah. Like Hitler might come back. I think I read that in a textbook about JZ engines. Yeah, so hopefully we get to like 1 million views on that before people really figure out that it's not worth their time to be commenting. I don't understand that about comments. Like, yeah, I mean that's and you know what, for the true fans, if you have made it this far, all 12 of you, you know, it does actually mean a lot to us if you guys do comment, because what we have learned from our Fast and the Furious, you know, 2JZ video was that like the amount of people like just commenting on it is what like generated like the lift to everyone else's algorithm. So like, you know, like, comment, and subscribe. As much as we hate to be those people, but it does seem to work when those things happen. And I don't know, no one's liking or commenting anymore. No one's doing that now. So if you've made it this far, please drop below. Put in a comment. Maybe you hate what we've already have just said, but we would love to hear. Tell me how wrong I am for not liking one particular body style of the Camaro. Actually, two body styles of the Camaro. Yeah. So tell me how that's sacrilegious and I should burn in hell for it. Being able to like, comment, doing all that down there in the comments just does so much for it, you know? Because like if they I guess if the algorithm like sees that people are liking
It's
it,
engagement.
it'll
It's just engagement.
yeah, because of the engagement, it'll just put it into other people's algorithms, and it goes really far. So we did appreciate it, and even if we were nasty to you in the comments, and if you found yourself in that video, it's all for fun, you know.
You were being nasty to people?
No, I wasn't being nasty. Not at all. No, I was like, even when people were being nasty, I was like, "Thank you."
Thanks.
Can I have another?
Thank you, sir. Can I have another?
Give me another comment. How can I make you comment
Please,
some more?
some of your finest engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on
Yes.
slightly to another controversial vehicle, the Supra, and controversial to me because I don't like it. There's a short little side thing that I learned the other day. Did you know the GR86 and the FRS and BRZ actually have a longer wheelbase than the Supra?
Whoa.
Because you think of the FRS, that's,
And like
that's a
by
small car.
5 inches, which is a lot actually. Oh, well, 4. About 4.
Yeah.
Almost 5.
A little over 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually kind of nuts.
That blew my mind.
Now, what is the old Supra
Ye old
wheelbase?
Supra?
The old 2JZGE Supra wheelbase.
You know, the JZE is supposedly the best JZ engine
Yeah.
according to the internet.
Only idiots would ever buy a GTE. Don't be silly. Turbo, the NAT is the best.
100 inches. It's actually longer than the GR86 is longer than the longer wheelbase than the Mark IV.
Wow.
Is the GR86 just bigger than I remember?
Well, so, and that's what
Or did they just shove the wheels as far to the corners as possible?
Well, so, and I think we talked about this before we started the podcast, but like where at first, I was not an early adopter to the FRS and BRZ when they came out in like 2013 or whatever that year was when they started coming out. And I don't know, maybe that wheelbase was different, but like by the time like they come out with like the ones they're making today, now that I'm looking at them, I'm much more of a fan. But back then, they seemed like they were very short and they seemed tall. Like kind of had the same structure of a 350Z, which I've always said like I'm not a huge fan of.
And you're wrong, but that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. So there it is. There's my clickbait will be that I'm just not a fan of 350Zs. I've never
Right
liked
after we had Julian on here,
I know I've never liked the noise. Honestly, I drove.
that's the last time he gives you a ride.
Yeah, I drove. John Newton had a high rev. The 2008 350Z would had like the cool hump in the hood, which did a lot for the aesthetics of the car. It like broke up all of the just like
The plane.
Yeah. And very quick car. Fell in love with like just driving it. Like
And
I was like
VQs.
Yeah.
Love them. Love the sound they make.
Hated that. But I think actually John actually had a good exhaust on it. There was a muffler, you know. It wasn't just like chopped. Open,
that's all it takes, just a muffler.
I mean, people will argue that.
It'll go a long way.
It takes a certain muffler. I don't know what he had, but it wasn't the worst thing. It wasn't very loud, but like for what it was there was a lot of power, like a lot of like torque to it, especially it being like the newer version. And it is cool, but like I remember like I had to take it to work, so like I took it all the way down to Queenstown. Yeah, of all places. So I had a long drive in it, but like that's when I have my biggest memory when I was talking about Julian with like when you put your arm on the fucking door, it's like you feel like you're 5, like you shouldn't be in this car.
Okay, so you'd hate the Camaro then?
Yes, yeah, and I said that. I was like, you know how a guy built like me like would fit into a Camaro, I would still take one, a brand new one today. My little bitch ass would be like, fuck yeah, yo. I would love it, dude. I mean, because again, like just because I don't like fit in them doesn't mean that's why I hate them. You know, I wouldn't fit in a Camaro. I would if I had the money, I would buy one and be like, dude, that's sick, and never drive it. I just wouldn't like it.
You wouldn't get a booster seat?
Tell no one. Yeah, no, I wouldn't ever see myself buying one. You know, I just don't think that I fit in that car. You know,
The 350.
Camaro, but also the same thing with the 350Z. I just don't like, and I know I don't fit in it, you know, for sure, because I've driven one. But yeah, I mean, you know, again, like I think that it's a good car. It drove really good. It was fast, you know, but like for what it was, quick, but it's not for me, you know. And aesthetically, not a fan. So no, I don't like the 350Z. Catch me in the comments. Tell me how I'm wrong. Sell me on a 350Z.
You're just wrong.
Okay.
That's what the comments are going to say.
Speaking of me being wrong, I think you may have actually been right on the last podcast. I think your boy don't really need another car. But I've got this weird bug where if I get an E36 that comes my way, I might just snap.
What did I say on the last podcast?
Well, we talked about all the parts that I have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you just need another E36.
yeah. So I was like,
Fuck.
Adrian's fucking right, yo. Well, just because we thought about like all the back and forth of flipping cars, doing stuff with cars, and I was like, yo, I could probably dress one up pretty. If I get one on the low tip, I don't know. Maybe. I gotta put my whole recipe out there on blast. And we're gonna stay focused here. So we're getting off topic.
Some of your
again.
specs.
Some of your specs, bro. Comment your specs below.
So, I don't know, you want to keep talking about Toyota?
Yes, transitioning to
More Toyota. So a couple things. Toyota's been cooking lately.
They have been cooking.
They've been just straight up cooking.
Yes.
You know, the GR Corollas being well loved. You and me are both big fans of the current iteration of the GR86.
Yeah.
And I think the Supra was the right move, even if they did it ugly.
We should go test drive some of these. I'm gonna put that on the back burner. Sorry, interrupting again.
But yeah. So the rumor mill's been going strong ever since Toyota unveiled a new engine, the G20E, little 2-liter 4-banger turbo, good for like I think the civilian version, because they're going to use this engine for racing, but the civilian version that'll be available in the cars, it's good for like 300 horsepower and 300 torque across the board. So that's a good healthy output for that engine.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And
especially, I mean, we looked up the weight of the GT86. It was like 3,200 pounds. Like
no,
less 28.
Yeah, it's in the 2000s.
Yeah, it was 2,800
for a modern car.
Crazy, dude.
But yeah, rumor mills, saying that engine's going in the next GR86, which hallelujah.
Yeah, and it's our mission to like keep saying it. Say it out loud. I mean, remember you brought up something about like people. Oh, the Supra, and like people were like, "Come on, manual," and they're like, "Shut up, we're not doing a manual." And like, "Come on," and he's like, and then the next year they're like, "Okay, it's a manual."
Yeah, so keep making noise, raise a ruckus.
Yeah.
G20E,
please.
Subaru's not going to give us a fucking STI engine or WRX engine.
We don't
BRZ.
want it.
And quite.
What are they like an FA? I think is the engine code.
FA20.
FA20. Yeah.
Something like that. They'll replace the old EJ.
Yeah.
EJ20s.
Yeah.
But
we don't fucking want them.
Yeah, I don't want it anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, Subaru fans, but boxer engines, they like to fire full broadsides if you fuck with them too much.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I want to be able to like pull my head off without pulling the fucking engine out.
But
or doing an exhaust manifold without killing myself.
Change my fucking oil without playing a fucking Saw game.
Yeah. Oh no, I think those
the new ones have them on the top.
Yeah.
But the older ones,
yeah.
Let's put the exhaust around.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, dude.
It's like you want to play a game. You have half an hour to get this oil filter off. But if you make one wrong move, you've burned all 5 of your fingers.
Yeah, it was like a mechanic's version of like Operation.
Yeah. And you're the buzzer.
Yeah.
So
Toyota GE20.
Toyota's, they're dropping the G20E, and rumor mill's been going crazy. First off, Toyota has actually confirmed Celica's coming back.
Yeah. Do we have any pictures of that?
No.
Okay. And then so they do have a Toyota that's running around on the Nürburgring. That's all cloaked up.
Probably this one. It's a either a Corolla or a Yaris. Oh, that's something else. That's something else.
You think so?
Hang on. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
All right.
But Celica has been confirmed by Toyota. That's in the pipeline. They're bringing that back. Don't know much other than it's probably going to have this G20E engine. So right off the bat, that's good recipe so far. All I know is a name and an engine, and I'm already excited. But with how Toyota's been doing lately, they have my trust.
Yeah.
I trust that they're not going to just botch this.
Yeah.
The other thing in the rumor mill is the return of the MR2. And that'll be exciting.
Wild. And it was a mid-engine car.
An affordable mid-engine car back on the menu. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's been missing since literally like the 90s, early 2000s was the last version of the MR2 for sale. But that segment of the market's just been gone.
Yeah.
For decades now.
Yeah. And the Corvette's the next best thing,
and that's a slightly different price
range.
bracket.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, capability. But just a sporty, capable, little, affordable car.
Yeah. Because other than that, there's like, I hope I'm not getting this right, but the Cayman?
Oh, the Porsche Cayman and Boxster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for those who don't know, because it took me an embarrassingly
too.
long time to realize this, but the Cayman is just a hardtop Boxster.
How dare you? People who have a Cayman right now are like, how dare you?
But no, like it took me an embarrassing long amount of time to realize that that's exactly what that was. If you wanted a hardtop Boxster, it's a Cayman.
Yeah, I mean, I love Porsches and all that stuff, and this is true for like almost all cars. I dip my toe in here and there, but it's like anything that I know I can't afford, or like even like I said,
really doesn't pique your interest.
Yeah,
does it?
I'm just recently becoming a dreamer. like
Koenigsegg, Bugatti, Pagani, they do nothing for me because I'm never gonna get one.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna come close, man. So like, and then even. Yeah, so like all that other stuff, I'm just like Porsches. I just haven't gone down the rabbit hole. So
I go to a Cars and Coffee and a McLaren shows up and I'm over here drooling over a pristine Shelby GLHS Omni.
Yeah. The last time I Googled something about a Porsche to learn, I was trying to figure out what the difference between a 964 and a 911 was in like 1986.
911 is the model. 964 is just like the chassis designation.
I think that's what you would think. I thought that they may be different, and then I was trying to figure out like, because people would say like, oh no, that's just a 964, and then it's like, but like it's a 964 or 911, and I was like, okay, no, like get it straight. Which is it?
Okay, is it a Carrera?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think the Carrera was a little bit different. I think the Carrera was a little bit longer, right? Yeah, I thought the Carrera was actually a little bit longer, and it had because like the.
But if it's a Carrera GT, it killed Paul Walker.
Indeed, actually, I shouldn't laugh. I didn't mean to laugh, but that is funny.
Did you hear? I forget if we talked about this already.
If it was me, Paul Walker would laugh. Like, so fuck you. Anybody wants to comment about that?
No, but did you hear that Porsche ran the Carrera GT around the Nürburgring again with modern tires?
Like not the dry rotted ones that came on?
Well, there was a recall for those tires, and I think they had like Bridgestone or some company like. Because when that car came out, they had the tires specially made, just like Bugatti has specially made tires. For their
sure.
Car.
Okay.
So they issued a recall for these tires, and the new tires are obviously modern.
Yeah.
Like with the 20 years of advancement that we've had. And then they took one and ran it on the Nürburgring, and it took like 10 or 15 seconds off of its time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn. That's nuts. I follow this guy, like Raul. He's like Italian, like I don't think speaking English, but his entire Instagram page is just him and his Carrera GT. That is just he's just drifting around little streets. He's just kicking the tail out, like just being like an Italian savant, shirt kind of open, like old guy, gray hair, glasses, just
being a stereotype,
dude. Just not even like he is probably the only one, and like can you imagine like Italy, like and there's just that one guy that's like doing burnouts and shit.
Are you talking about that? Like you say a shirt open and all that, like
no,
the stereotypical sexy Italian man.
Well, he is the stereotypical like old sexy Italian guy, but still he's just like the one guy who's like out there tearing up the streets of Italy, and then like I follow him just because of that, because like this guy just parties. He's just down for it. Sidebar. I wish I had more to go off of that, like his Instagram handle. I don't remember anybody's Instagrams.
No.
So I don't know why I brought it up, but it's funny. People are out there throwing down. And you don't see those enough. Probably because of the unsafeness.
Probably because it's illegal, yes.
What? No, I mean the
breaking
car.
law?
No, the car itself. The Carrera GT. You don't see a lot of them.
It has more to do with their rareness and monies, how much they cost, their value.
That's true. Yeah. Well, anyway, back to our topic. Toyota.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so MR2 potentially coming back.
Yep.
That hasn't been confirmed. But they had that at the Tokyo Auto Salon 2025 Tokyo Auto Salon. They brought out a Toyota GR Yaris with the engine in the wrong place. And people have been speculating that this is a test mule for a new MR2 with that new G20E engine.
Do we have pictures of that?
That's it.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, if you notice, we're looking at the trunk of a GR Yaris with an engine in it.
Oh. That's the best picture we got?
I don't know. I haven't scrolled through the
I'm
rest
not
of
looking
this.
at a whole bunch here.
There's the whole Yaris.
Oh, it's a
That
whole
makes you feel
Yaris.
better.
There's one Yaris.
And yep, that's it.
Okay.
I mean, this article is about the engine, not about the car, but that's one of the things that they put that engine in is this mid-engine GR Yaris, and speculation is that this is a test mule for the new MR2.
Oh, okay. So the MR2 might share the same body as a Corolla.
No.
Okay.
This is a test mule for developing suspension and developing the chassis. They just have a Yaris body on it. Seeing what the driving dynamics are like with this engine mounted back here.
All right. Well, don't be so condescending. I mean, what's the Jesus? I mean, what's the difference if so you're saying that there's a different chassis, but just so happens the GR body of the Corolla fits right on top of this new MR2
all the time.
Wouldn't it humor me here? Wouldn't it make more sense with all the things we were just talking about? How car manufacturers like to just keep a chassis, being able to recreate a lot of parts for other things, like a GR, like an FRS, like a BRZ kind of style. Wouldn't it make more sense that if it worked, which the GR Corolla does work, that they could share the same chassis, but you would just have a sports car instead of a hatchback?
Yeah.
All right, so it's not that crazy, Adrian.
You didn't say that. You said that it's going to share the body with a Corolla.
No, I said it was going to share the same chassis.
You said body, which is why I was like, no.
Okay. Well, obviously, it's not going to look like a Corolla, and they're going to call it an MR2.
Sharing a body.
No. Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, we're going to move on.
There's a difference between body and chassis. Words are important, Keith.
Okay. Well, if I said that, then I'm sorry. I'll take it back.
And if you didn't say that, then I'm deaf and I'm an asshole.
Well, we'll find out. Good thing we recorded it. So, but yeah, I think if I had to imagine, I think it would shake down in one of the ways we just.
Yeah, I mean, if they can adapt and modify the Yaris and Corolla chassis to accept an engine in the back without too much crazy modification and put a different body over it, then yeah, that's obviously a route that they can take.
Yeah.
But this is all 100% speculation because Toyota said nothing about this. But everyone who's in the business is thinking this hints at we might be getting an MR2 because why else would they be stuffing the engine in the back of a Yaris?
Right. Exactly. As if that's the car they're going to make the MR2 out of. Which is my point. I'm saying the Yaris stated it believes the Yaris M will feel sharp. What are they doing with the Yaris?
The Yaris M, this thing?
Is that the Yaris M?
Yes, the Yaris M. M
I
stands
thought you
for
said this was the
Mauricio.
Corolla.
No, this is a GR Yaris.
I thought you said this was a GR Corolla.
I might have, but I meant Yaris.
God damn it.
I did mention Corolla as well because I think they also share a chassis. But the GR Yaris we don't get here in America. They gave us the Corolla.
We just want to remind you that this is not a factual-based podcast. We're out here having fun. Well, cool. But yeah, either way, I mean, I think this engine, the fact that it even exists is cool. If they don't put it in one of these cars, it'll be a gosh darn shame. It is an awesome... It's an awesome idea if they throw this in, into production because, that changes the future car market forever. This is sick, And And obviously, I want all of it. But like, even if we don't get the MR2 mid-engine or don't get like a mid-engine something, as long as that engine ends up in production, I'll be a happy camper. You know, because I think the scene's really missing like a good 4-cylinder like that. Which is why, like, you know, I see also a ton of potential in the future for that EcoBoost.
The 2.3.
The 2.3, yeah. You know, as ugly as it is, you know, it's also got a lot of potential for making power pretty quickly, pretty easily, and also being a junkyard pool, you know, with the escape and all other kinds of shit.
And, you know, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it until Ford fucking listens.
Yeah.
Put an SVO badge on the 4-cylinder Mustangs.
I know, dude.
Just do it.
Yeah, it's such a missed opportunity just on the sales aspect. Like, it does nothing
The
for us.
best time to have done it would have been when they put the 2.3 EcoBoost in the Ford Mustang. The second best time is right fucking now.
Yeah. Because, like, the homies, I'm sure there's somebody out there that, like, made an SVO badge and put it on
or has
their
ripped the
4-cylinder.
SVO badge off of an old Fox body and stuck it on there.
Yeah, stuck it on their new Mustang. Because, like, that's what it is.
In fact, you know what? Ford, make a special package. It's got, like, because I know Ford's got multiple, like, handling package or track packs. 2.3 EcoBoost Mustang with the track pack and, like, you know, maybe a sports exhaust and intake or something. That's the SVO package.
Yeah. And even if it's not even that, like, the badge, it's not even for us. It's for them. Yeah. It's for Ford. It's for Ford to sell stuff.
Look, we'll
put the badge on.
You wanted to bank in on fucking, you know, brand recognition and sully the Mustang's name by attaching it to that bloated, fat fucking crossover, the Mach-E.
Yeah.
Fuck you for that. And then you go and do the same bullshit to the Capri.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're getting that here, but it used to be like a little muscle car thing.
Yeah.
It has straight six.
Yeah.
And now it's a fat, bloated fucking crossover.
That's crazy.
But you won't grab the SVO badge and put it on the 4-cylinder Mustang?
Yeah, at least the Integra actually does technically have a hatchback. Like that was just blatant disrespect to the Capri. Golly. Yeah, the Capri was cool. Oh no. Ew.
Yep.
And then look at the actual Capri.
How far we've
pretty
fallen.
Sick. Yeah. And then technically, the Ford Falcon was also a Capri, or is that the Capri? Didn't they make a Capri later on?
Yeah, we had them here, and they were front-wheel drive little Miata-looking things made by Mazda.
Oh shit! What? Pull it up.
And I think it was sold under Mercury. Was it Mercury or was it Ford? Oh no, the Mercury Capri was a Fox body. We did get the Capri here as a Fox body, and I like the Mercury Capri.
That is sick, dude! I've never seen this.
Yeah, I like those.
That's
like
cool,
those a lot.
man.
The Mercury Capri, and there it is.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking about. This little groovy thing.
Yeah, they're made by Mazda. Mazda basically made a front-wheel drive Miata.
Yeah. I kind of fuck with it. I hate that it's a Capri, but I kind of fuck with it.
I do kind of fuck with them. They're fun.
I kind of fuck with low-key fuck with it heavy. But dude, the Fox body Capri is dope.
I like those a lot. I've seen a couple of them at some of the cars and coffees I go to, and every time it's such a treat.
Man. Yeah, it gives like a slightly different aura to it. I have to admit though,
auras.
I have to admit the other Fox bodies, the other like pictures of these that I'm seeing, I'm not such a big fan.
Yeah,
of.
you got a little too much going on.
Yeah,
here,
and I've never been a fan of like the painted lip around just the little ring around the bottom. Not a fan of that. It just never looked good on any car.
Like this?
No, that's a two-tone.
Oh, this.
That. Yeah. So this, not a fan of that. But
this.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
And that's like plastic trim. We're all used to that.
Well, that's just the factory trim.
Yeah, and then if you go to the two-tone one, which is like a semi-two-tone. Nope. Well, yeah, that one works too. But the white one, I think, was a better picture of a true two-tone. Yeah. But that looks good. Yeah. I like that. Especially on trucks. Ford was... speaking of that, Ford had the 90, like 96 F-150 that had like the stripe down the middle.
The 96 F-150 with a stripe down the middle?
Yeah. It's like that two-tone, but like it's like the size of that, but it just goes down the middle. No, that blue, the white with the blue. Oh, brother.
We need to bring back two-tone trucks. I saw a modern,
Let's fucking go.
at least like 2016, 2017 Chevy Silverado driving down the road with a a classic paint job like that.
Yeah.
It looked great.
It's so good, dude. And then like when you do like, because I love the white with the blue, but then when you go to the green with the gray, it's like such a different aura. It's almost like the to the right.
Oh, that, yeah.
It's almost a different. It's like it's the same paint job,
Just different colors,
backwards,
different
and
aura.
it just changes the aura. Crazy, dude.
Yeah, but we need to bring back two-tone trucks. Like,
Yeah,
like this shit.
yeah. I think we're just gonna live vicariously through the '90s until we die.
90s and back.
Yeah.
Take me back.
Yeah. God, it's so good. Good trucks. OBS, baby. Hey, guess what? We got distracted again.
Always. Forever and ever.
So-
but no, I think I said everything I wanted to say about Toyota. They got the new engine
Had your
coming
piece?
out. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. You brought up that V8 car they got running around the Nürburgring.
Yes. Oh, from Toyota. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is the successor for the LFA.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I mean,
They haven't announced.
they might not want it to be, but that's the slot it's going to fill because it's a
Yeah.
supercar spec, Lexus sports car. It's their flagship. What was
Yeah.
their flagship before? It was the LFA. So,
Yeah, to be honest, they could just, if they had just done a little bit more for the RCF, I think it would sell.
the GR GT3 concept. That's what they call it.
Oh, so it's more Toyota than it is Lexus, huh?
Well, that's the concept car, but odds are it's going to become the Lexus. Like, it's going to be sold as a Lexus.
Yeah.
The GR GT3 concept at the Auto Salon in 2022, and all the spy videos and images after, and they've been driving it around the Nürburgring lately. But yeah, this is in race trim, obviously, this picture. But by the time it, they get rid of all the super aggressive aero and put it out there, you know damn well this is going to be a Lexus.
Yeah, I mean, it does make more sense. It's going to be hard to fit that in the Toyota lineup.
I mean, they are dropping the Supra, so.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, they're going to be ending production soon.
Oh, shit. So I guess you were right. The Supra does suck.
You know what my biggest issue with the Supra is, and it's not just like the lumpy styling, it does bother me, but I don't like the Squidward nose just hanging over the front. I don't like it. That bulbousness. I've seen there are several cars that have this styling cue, and I don't like it. Like, a lot of people when the Supra first came out lamented the fact that it looked like the FT1 concept, but was watered down. I didn't even like the FT1 concept.
I've never seen it. FT1 concept. I actually do enjoy that more than the... Yeah, let's throw that. Yeah, I actually like that a little bit more.
So did everyone else.
Yeah.
So when the Supra came out, that was also part of why it was controversial when they first dropped it, because this is what everyone was expecting. Again, I don't like the Squidward nose.
Yeah.
That's a styling cue that I don't like.
It's certainly more of a Squidward nose right there.
But like, then you get to like that's not even the production model. In fact, honestly, this looks better.
Yeah.
I do like this more than the actual production car that we got.
Yeah.
I am on board with everyone there, but it still has that. And you know what other car has that I don't like? The second to last gen Prelude. what was it, like 1992.
Yeah, I feel like at the same time, dude, I feel like
I don't like
Lexus-
when hoods come to a point and fucking droop down over onto the grill. I just
Yeah,
never liked that styling cue.
yeah. But I'm trying to decide like what like sports cars fit into better, like the Lexus brand or the Toyota brand, and I feel like it's Toyota.
It's Toyota.
Yeah, but like why? And then why do you think that the LFA competitor should stay with Lexus? I feel like it shouldn't. I don't think that the LFA was really a successor, and I think that like people in the car community relate more with the brand of Toyota.
Reasons. There's two reasons. One, Toyota can charge more if it's a Lexus.
And that didn't work before.
Two, this isn't just about being a sports car. This is now a supercar or a hypercar. And it is chock full of like the most advanced technology and probably luxury. Like, you know, the LFA was filled with like really good leather and carbon fiber and all these other high-end materials. Like, you're not going to find that in Toyota.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying. Maybe they don't need any of that shit.
Maybe they don't need Lexus. Maybe the RC can be a Toyota.
I mean, or yeah, possibly. But like, I'm just like, it just feels like if they got rid of the Supra, which like, I think controversial. But like, if they brought in this supercar, and then like where it's like the Mustang and the Ford GT, right?
I mean, yeah, there's different ways you can go about it. But the Ford GT, the Ford GT also doesn't have the reputation of being like this super high end. Like, yeah, it's a supremely capable car, and no one ever takes it away. But at the end of the day, like, you get inside and you go, yeah, this is definitely still a Ford.
But I mean,
and that could be, yeah, it is. That's not the point. It's a vibes thing.
The point is not sales.
Not necessarily with these Halo cars. Do you think Ford makes the GT with the express purpose of making a profit, or do you think this is one of those like statement cars?
I think that because Toyota couldn't make a profit, they stopped making the LFA. So I'll answer that with that.
Did Ford not make any money off of the previous generation GT before they stopped it?
I think that Toyota didn't make any money off the LFA, so they couldn't keep making it. So I think what I'm saying is that like it's not a far off method. I think in both terms they still
So you're saying the LFA should have been sold as a Toyota?
I think if it was sold as a Toyota, it would be a different car. Like you were saying. Like do you think all that like the carbon and all the other stuff like really fits in the Toyota brand? You're right, it doesn't. So if it didn't have all that, it was a little bit more dumb, you know. It would be a little less of a car, but it would be sold.
But you'd still have that V10.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it would have made a difference.
I think it could.
People weren't willing to pay $400 or whatever $1,000 for a Lexus. You think they'd be willing to pay $300,000 for a Toyota? Because let's face it, that car would still be well over $200,000, if not even higher. Because even at $400,000, Toyota was losing money on every car.
I couldn't even begin to like fathom price with you. I mean, I have no idea where to start with that. But I would say that there seems to be a potential, like especially because I think they're doing such a good job with the GR 86, right? And like the FRS brand of all of that. So like with that being their foundational thing, like their Miata car, like they could keep an RC on, but like make it cheaper, make it a Toyota Mustang, you know, and then make this LFA replacement a bit dumber, and then you have like something that really sells and that is like actually competitive in like the Chevy Ford market.
I will counter this by saying that like it's just how these manufacturers do that, where their high-end shit goes to their high-end brand. The NSX is sold as an Acura, not a Honda.
Oh, that's very
The
true.
LFA
I see
is
what you're
sold
saying.
as a Lexus, not a
Yeah.
Toyota. And the only reason the Ford GT isn't sold as a Lincoln GT is because it has a racing history that they're trying to draw from.
Right. So because right. Because like Ford does have that pedigree
Yeah.
of racing. So
And this is a direct callback to
if
the
it was Lincoln, they
Ford
wouldn't
GT.
buy it. Yeah.
But if
no
Lincoln
one's
had
ever-
gone racing in the 60s to fight Ferrari, then we'd be looking at the Lincoln GT.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true.
Or if
Yeah, I
Ford
get it.
decided to take a crack at, a supercar with the Ford GT without that heritage, it probably would be a Lincoln.
Yeah. Without that heritage, the GT wouldn't sell.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Huh.
See, that's why the LFA didn't sell. It doesn't have that heritage.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
random,
Lexus needs to go to war.
Yeah, go to war.
You need to go to war.
Take it to Ferrari. Just make Ferrari the whipping post.
Whoever owns or is in charge of that part of Lexus, they need to have their heart broken. We have to get they got to like catch their wife cheating on them.
How do you know that's not already in progress? How do you know this new car come out isn't going to be that car that goes to war?
That's a point. I mean, I never
gotta wait and see.
I never claimed that.
We gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I will have my popcorn ready for the reveal because I hope so. But again, once we see the price is like when we will actually get.
It's going to be
That's our perspective.
It's going to be more than your house. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, so is the Ford GT.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's going.
It's
to
about
be.
how many of my houses do I need? How many of my houses should I bring to Lexus?
How many
to buy
loans can I
this?
take out against my mortgage for this?
Yeah. How much interest do I need to accrue?
How many years?
Yeah.
So, just one
Did-
little side tangent. Since we're talking
Okay.
about the LFA here. What do you think sounds better? The LFA or the Carrera GT? Do I need to pull up examples?
No.
Okay.
No, I know them quite well. It's actually quite a good comparison, but I think if I had to pick, I think I would say the LFA. If I had to pick one.
I
mean,
kind of agree.
I would
kind
say
of agree.
the
I think the
Carrera
LFA
GT.
sounds better, but if I had to pick a car to take home, I'm taking the Carrera.
Yeah, the Carrera GT has a very unhinged, very erratic tone.
And it's manual.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But the LFA is
I think the
has that
LFA
same
is more
tone, but
refined and
it's
melodic
certainly-
somehow.
Yeah. That's what I didn't want to use the word refined, but it's harmonic. There's this musical.
Probably
Yeah.
because the engine was developed by Yamaha
Yeah, who also makes pianos.
and saxophones.
Yeah. And dirt bikes.
And watercraft.
Yeah. And from time to time, speakers. Bro, Yamaha is nuts. Bro, what an insane, we're going to make a saxophone. What else? We're also going to make
Pianos.
boat engines.
Marine engines.
Yeah.
What else? Motorcycles.
What kind of, the fastest motorcycle you
The
could
best.
add.
What kind of motorcycles? The best.
Yeah, whatever we do, we're just going to fucking kill it. I actually love that. I do really
I'm
appreciate
honestly
Yamaha.
surprised Yamaha doesn't actually make any cars out, because even Suzuki had to try at making cars.
Sure, yeah, true. The Suzuki Samurai was sick.
Yeah, love it.
Love
The
that.
Suzuki Kazashi, an okay car
Kazashi?
from what I've heard of.
Kazashi?
The Suzuki Forenza, garbage.
All right, pull him up.
The Kazashi was the last car Suzuki sold in the U.S. before they pulled
I
out.
want Suzuki Heritage.
You want the lure?
I want the Suzuki Heritage lore. Give me Suzuki. Samurai's the first one. Oh, the katana, the bike,
Kazashi. N car.
and and car.
It was a competent little car.
Oh, I know what this thing is. This is a GM car. That's the what they decided to call the Regal, the Buick
The
Regal.
Buick Regal. Let's see. Let's see
Yeah.
if it actually did share, because they did a lot of platform sharing. Of
Yeah,
course.
I could read these things like a book. If I'm wrong,
I'm not seeing.
I'll
that.
eat my shoe.
Oh,
Joke's on you, I'm not wearing shoes.
Get the hot sauce. You gonna need it.
Get him some milk.
But yeah, this was the last car that they sold in the.
Wait, go back up.
US.
2.4. Let's see the engine. The engine might give it away.
2.44 cylinder.
Click the engine. Oh, it's just gonna show 4-cylinder.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. J24B. It's a Suzuki built engine.
Son of a bitch! I may be eating my shoe. All right, we're dying in the water, Adrian. Read faster.
I can only read so fast.
You might have to just Google this. You don't have to read everything. You can just Google your answers. You can Google your answers.
0 references.
I Googled the price for my tip at dinner. Okay, Google it.
Suzuki Kizashi. What?
Sister vehicle. Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Please let me be right. I love being right.
Well, it shares its platform with the Chevrolet Epica. And that's it.
That's close enough for me. I bet you.
But it does not have a direct sister vehicle in the sense of sharing a platform. But
okay, well, do me a favor. Let's go back to the Kizashi, and then give me the image. The red with the booty out. Red with the booty out. That's good there. Now let's go to Buick Regal.
The Buick Regal?
Yeah, Buick Regal, and you'll have to do like 2019. That's good enough.
I mean, I see why.
Show me
said that.
Boot it. Well, yeah. I mean, this will just
2016. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I see why you said what you did.
Yeah. So you feel me?
I mean, I think it looks more similar from the front than the back.
Yeah. I don't know. Now that you say it, yeah.
You know what's funny? This, especially in white, it almost reminds me of a Volkswagen like Jetta.
Yeah, honestly, like after I saw them back and forth, I'm like, yeah, they don't think they really shared that many body lines.
No, they said the Chevy Epica is the closest relative.
Yeah, but that body line of that Kizashi right there had like the same like Jetta, like the bubbleness to like that like 2013 Jetta.
It's like 2010 Jetta. Yeah, this body style.
Oh, no, go back to the other the picture right next to it. You almost clicked. That's like that same body line, dude.
Oh, man. I've got so many fucking tabs
got
open.
So much to do. Pressure's on. People are watching.
Yeah,
there it is.
That.
No, the red one right there. Oh, I just put my hand on the camera. The red one. Go back. The
red one.
Yeah, there you go. Now you get the body line. Yeah, okay. Back and forth? Yes. Look at that, dude.
We need to find a red Jetta.
It's a Retta.
Yeah, so, but anyway, yeah. So the Kizashi was the last car I sold here. The Suzuki Forenza was a fucking pile of shit. We had one as a rental car when we flew out to Vegas in the Grand Canyon.
Nice.
And all I remember was my mom driving, and she went to go merge onto a road with what looked like plenty of room, but it was a slight uphill, and there was a semi coming, and it just kept getting closer and closer. And my mom had the foot to the floor, and this thing was just, oh
no,
fucking piece of shit. Yeah, it looks like a fucking Kia.
Yeah, I've seen these. It's definitely a Kia. They make this in Kia version.
Suzuki Forenza.
You know what collab like this I'm like not mad about was the like Ford and Mazda.
Oh, they did great stuff together.
They did great stuff together. I really enjoyed that collab.
You know what collab I really liked? Chrysler and Mitsubishi.
Oh, right. Yeah. So like the whole Eclipse
DSM.
Era. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I really wish we had lived through that era. You know, like we were like 16.
Yeah, no,
we
were around just as they started to all rust away.
But also like spike in price.
Yeah,
where, like people really knew that like almost like
4G63.
Yeah,
got to be one of my favorite genders.
Yeah. but yeah, because they were a lot of them like went away. It was like became sought after. What else? What else does Suzuki have? I hate that this is what we're doing. Can you show me the Samurai?
I want to see the Samurai. That's what I was going to look up.
And then let's just be done. Yes.
And this is still alive, basically, in the Suzuki Jimny.
Yeah.
Which we don't get here.
So there's a...
Oh, so dude, wood panel?
Yeah, that's fire, dude. There's another. Maybe I'm also. I think it's an Isuzu Rodeo. Isuzu is another one that had they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they just make big trucks.
But I think Isuzu also had a similar thing to to battle the Samurai.
Nah, that was the Geo Tracker.
No.
Was
no.
Suzuki made that, I think.
Are you sure?
Or that might have been Isuzu.
No, I think it was Isuzu.
Geo Tracker. I need to see who
Suzuki
made that.
Samurai.
Geo is GM's captive import brand.
Yeah, but the Tracker was small. The Isuzu.
Yeah, it was Suzuki. So yeah.
Who made the Tracker?
So I think the Tracker is what in America followed the Samurai.
They were actually the same body.
What it was a Suzuki Sidekick?
Yeah, no. See, I knew it. It's too small.
The Samurai's tiny.
Nah, dude. The Samurai is like Jeep worthy. Where like the Tracker kind of had this like, it's a full frame. But yeah, look at that thing.
It's tiny.
No, but it's Jeep worthy.
It's Jeep worthy, and so is the Tracker when you build them.
How dare you? Look, I hate Jeeps and I hate Jeep people. Love you, Jeep people. I don't actually hate you, but
stop it. With
pull
the
ducks off your dash and just fucking come back to reality.
Okay, so
like get a mortgage. But I'm just kidding. Nobody can get a mortgage. But yeah, no, like Jeeps are actually respectable vehicles. Like they're like true.
Yeah,
like
and the Samurai's even better off road.
Honestly, dude, it is.
They're smaller. They fit more places.
I would love. We may not have to do this on the podcast, but I would love to see the comparison, like footprint wise, between a Jeep and. Right, I stand corrected.
They're fucking tiny.
They're fucking tiny. You're right. Okay, fuck. Dude, this is why we have a podcast. Yeah. Click that other picture to the left or to the right. Up.
This?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're little guys.
Bro. That's like the smallest Jeep. I mean, maybe like it. Like,
and hey, look at that, the Tracker and the Samurai.
And they look almost identical.
That's strange.
I fucking take it back. God damn it. Oh, bro, look at them fucking crawling.
Look at that Samurai go.
Dog.
Yeah, Samurai is everything the Jeep claims to be.
Yeah, if you want to get,
I'll stand on that business.
If you want to get me to do a different sport other than drifting, catch me wheeling, bro. I will be wheeling. Remember we did that with the CRV?
Yeah.
Well, I should say you did that with the CRV, and it was like an instant moment of like, don't tell mom, you know? Like we got like cat codes and all kinds of like.
Well, what happened was I power washed my engine bay and then got a misfire.
That was a misfire
until it dried out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then look.
But I remember there was a little bit of panic set in once you realized how dirty the engine bay got, and you were like, if I pop the hood, my mom sees this. But then what I remember was we were like, wait a minute, like. They're never going to pop the hood. We're going to be fine. And they didn't know.
But we didn't clean the car. No, we didn't clean the car good enough because once it looked good when it was wet, but once it was dry, it was still covered in mud.
Oh.
And I didn't realize that. I parked it while it was still wet, went inside, and then my parents came home and
they were like, "What the hell happened?
What were you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, a little bit off road."
Like, "Oh, you think it? Oh, I must."
If you break that car, you're paying for it.
Puddle.
Okay.
And jokes on them, the Honda CR-V cannot be broken.
The Honda CR-V
will not be
unstoppable,
broken.
in the mud. That thing kept fucking trucking.
Yeah. I mean, on stock tires, it was actually tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just regular all seasons.
Did I send you that video of there's a new, the Chevy, it might have been it was smaller than a Traverse.
Blazer?
Maybe. But it wasn't as, like I don't want to use the word cool, but like cool. Like, it wasn't like that cool shapes that, like, the Blazer has. It was, like, an SUV thing, but, like, it was, like, one of their, like, Highland versions. Like, one of their, like, altitude, like, traction.
All I'm saying is I saw one of these off-road, like, Blazers struggle to go up
that's what
at
this
a very
is.
slight incline
That's what this
in
is.
the mud.
In the mud, yeah. Well, like, the four-wheel drive is overheating and shutting off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know four-wheel drive was engaged. The back wheels weren't doing shit.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's crazy, you know? And, like, to go... And what's upsetting is, like, I guess, my parallel here, why I brought it up, is that we went from, you know, just a clutch pack rear differential, right? Is that all that was in the CR-V?
Yeah.
So, like... Pack. Yeah, so essentially it was mostly
if
front-wheel
overheated,
drive.
it would keep trying until it melted.
Right. But like in the sense that like it was like an all-time four-wheel drive, but like it had like just a simple clutch pack in the back, and like and it worked so
Yeah,
well.
because I didn't have traction control to cut all the power as soon as the front wheels started spinning.
Yeah, so my point is that like if that worked so well, whose decision was it to stop? You know, it's like it's crazy that it seems like the innovation's almost going backwards. It's like
And
that Jurassic Park scene where like it's like you guys
Here's the
never
thing.
stopped to ask why.
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why are
No,
we changing
that
this?
was a famous line. You
Yeah.
got so so busy trying to figure out if you could, you didn't stop to ask if you should.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm not saying that Honda's real-time four-wheel drive is the best all-wheel drive system ever. It's not. Objectively, it's
Sure,
fucking terrible.
no.
It sends 10% of the power to the back wheels. And it could have gotten up that hill that this fucking Blazer was struggling on.
But at the same time, it did send 10% of the power to the rear wheels.
Period.
And yeah, we're not saying it's the best. It just worked. Like it just did.
And it
what
was all
supposed to
mechanical.
do.
No electronics.
Yeah.
If the front starts spinning, it spun a pump that pressurized the clutch pack.
Yeah.
And sent power to the back.
Yeah. And so like and again like obviously if you want to go rock crawler know what I mean
this is not the car for you.
it's two solid axles, but like my point is like here's an SUV.
Mm-hmm.
You had an SUV.
Yes.
This is the newest version of the SUV and it's having a hard time getting through mud.
Uh-huh.
And the one from the 90s is just getting through whatever it wanted.
Yeah.
Like at all courses.
Both of my CRVs have
Sand.
never once gotten stuck in anything.
Yeah. I mean, it would
The one time that it got stuck was because I was driving through like 2 feet of snow and I high centered. I packed all the snow into the car. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I did?
Backed up. Yeah, you got to get out of there.
Just right into reverse, and she backed right out of it. I'm like, okay, not driving through that parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that just goes into ground clearance. So
Yeah,
like, it's not
because
even
I had
like-
lowered the car.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that doesn't even and still any SUV is going to have that issue where like they're not supposed to be all jacked up, So like
Yeah.
we're going with like the small restrictions that have
The
of its
CRV's
class.
real-time all-wheel drive will get you through 99.9% of whatever you're going to encounter on your day-to-day driving.
Yeah. I think even like the
Hell, it'll tackle
the
like
the RAV4 even.
well, the RAV4 is actually better. It's got a locking center diff.
Exactly. I was going to say like
An actual locking center diff.
but I know that one's always been good, but I wonder if it's still good.
I don't know. Same thing with Honda. They
Yeah.
ditched the old school mechanical.
Did they?
Yeah.
See, I hate this. I think it's our mission, and anyone's listening to this podcast, to please go buy an old, fun SUV and just keep them alive.
And beat the shit out of them.
And then beat the shit out of them, and then try to destroy it.
Also,
But-
we need to fix whatever tariff / import tax / bullshit is keeping us from getting the Suzuki Jimny.
The who?
The Suzuki Jimny. There's a Samurai. There's a Jimny. That's a brand new car.
Oh, look at that thing. Suzuki Jimny.
Yes,
Is it any good? It looks nice. Looks cute.
they are amazing.
They're cute. And you know what it looks like? A little Renegade. It's a little
No.
Jeep Renegade.
Nope, you're wrong. That's a Samurai.
Go
That's a
on.
modern
Go
interpretation
on
of
and
a
tell me
Suzuki
how dare
Samurai.
you? Yeah, I mean it's totally different, but that's what it looks like. Pull up a Jeep. How many
Renegade-
times am I gonna do this?
Do you know
Pull
what
up
a
Jeep
Renegade looks like? A Renegade looks like someone took one of those, got it really hot so that all the metal was soft and squishy, overinflated, stretched out a little bit, and then sucked it back in, and then it hardened. That's what the Renegade looks like compared to that.
That was a very complicated.
And once I bring it up, you're gonna agree.
Yeah. I hate that I keep comparing this, as if it's not okay that we keep doing that.
They overinflated to stretch out the skin, then they sucked it back in, and now it's all fucking weirdly soft and rounded.
Do the white one. The white one's really showing the rigid. No, that's a bad picture. Do that.
You're
one.
saying it's a bad picture because it's showing how it looks like it melted in on itself.
These are two very high quality pictures. Go to one from Car and Driver, and now go back to the other one. That's not what I meant. I meant go back to.
That is a rugged, handsome vehicle.
You're right. It's far more handsome.
This one got soft and sucked in on itself after
You're
being
right.
stretched out.
You're right. You're right. You're right. It's not as good. Not even close.
No, and this is rear-wheel drive biased with real four-wheel drive and solid axles,
Solid axles.
at least on the back. The front might be a solid axle. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the back is definitely a solid axle.
Yeah, I know, dude. Speaking of, let's not get too political, but tariffs. How much is that going to affect because obviously we have. Should we mention that now? The fact that it's pretty much set in place that Honda is going to start making the Honda Civic here in America.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And
like Illinois or something.
Who else was looking into doing that?
So in addition to that, Porsche and Audi are already like looking for places to do this, and Mercedes-Benz seems to be posturing towards potentially moving to the United States to manufacture some of their vehicles as well. Now, no one, Honda, Audi, Porsche, or Mercedes is going to make their full line in America, but Honda is for sure starting with like over 200,000, I think like 210,000 Honda Civics are going to be made in like Illinois or Indiana. I think it's Indiana. Which I love that because that means they're going to have to like build.
I mean, Honda already has a plant in the U.S. They built the Accords here.
Yeah, it's in Indiana.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean, this isn't that big of a deal. It's easy for Honda to go, okay, you know what? With the tariffs coming up, it would be in our best interest to just expand production at this factory instead of building in another country.
And I think that Audi has one in Alabama, or maybe Porsche has one in Alabama. I forget. There's another factory that's already in Alabama. They're going to start, but that's my main point.
How long until someone buys the old GM plant in Delaware?
Well, exactly, and someone may have already bought it. Somebody may have already bought it. That's actually a good question. But yeah, how many? That was my kind of where I'm going back. I was like, what if they all went back to Detroit?
Yeah, rebuild Detroit again.
Yeah. I mean, that would be insane, dude, to bring Detroit back. But I mean, obviously with the drinking water thing, which I've been harping on for a long time.
Flint, Michigan.
I've been standing on business on.
And just to confirm, the Jimny does have solid axles front and rear. We need this here in America.
Yeah. So, Mr. President, bring down the tariff.
Look, Mr. Vance, if you bring the Jimny to America, I'll look into see if I can try to stop the cursed J.D. Vance edits.
Now say please and thank you.
Now say say please and thank you, Mr. Zelensky.
You have to say please and thank you if you're going to ask Mr. Vice President.
Please.
Please. Yes, I mean, I think that would be like a good thing that would happen from these tariffs if if that meant that we get to build factories here.
Yeah, I mean, Apple's building a factory here now.
Yeah, and they have the cash to do it. It's hard for, as crazy as it seems, like car manufacturers to do it. But
there it is.
To make it bigger, I can't even see it. But yeah. So yeah, if we can start manufacturing cars here, that means we can start building plants here, and that creates jobs for everybody. You know what I mean? Like all the construction that goes into that.
Dude, we could move dirt for these factories.
We could be moving dirt for these factories, possibly. It could be on us to be getting dirt flat. We could be making dirt flat.
I'd love to pack down some dirt.
Yeah, I could pack down a good dirt field.
I could do a better job than that one fucking road in Maryland.
Yeah.
That back road, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
No, not potholes, just shit.
just to
up and down,
but again, to stay on topic here.
No.
To be able to make...
We don't stay on topic.
But to be able to make manufacturers here, and then like not only giving people the jobs here to be able to like make all these factories, but then also to employ people to like make them here again, and then just hopefully that would also bring down some
revitalizing our industrial capacity would be nice.
Yeah. And like having the innovation done here, the design done here, I think, and like we just talked about, it would be nice to bring back more solid axles, bring back some old technology, and I think with a little more blue jeans in the office, I think we could handle that.
Do you know what I'd love to see?
You don't get that.
And people have been like talking about for like years now. Is if Ford took the Mustang chassis and made a legit rear-wheel drive car for Lincoln. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if the Continental was built on a stretched Mustang chassis.
Yeah, I guess, and so again, it would have to be stretched, so you might as well just start with a new chassis, eh?
It's not that hard to stretch chassis. Compared to designing a new one from the ground up.
How many chassis you stretch?
All of them.
You're like, dude, it's not that fucking hard. Don't be a fucking pussy.
Yeah, don't be a pussy. Just stretch a fucking chassis.
Just do it already. Is it not done? Don't bring this to my office if it's not done. This is how you run companies. Dude, but what about that Continental? Or that's not that one. I forget remember I showed you that video, that guy who's putting the Coyote V8 into the Continental?
Well, it probably was one of these Continentals. The Continental.
No. It was a brand new, like.
Oh, no,
like
it was this. And do you know why you don't recognize it?
Why?
Because I'm pretty sure you had to stretch it right here, which is what I was about to.
Oh, shit.
The tangent I was going to go on. This is built off of, I think, the Taurus platform. So it's a front-wheel drive chassis.
Yes.
I mean, it's all-wheel drive,
Yes.
but it's a front-wheel drive biased transverse mount.
Yes.
And it lacks what is called the prestige gap.
Ooh.
The prestige gap is the gap between the dash
here.
and that front wheel. So it's fucking no space. You go to a classic Continental, all the space. It's also the reason why the Prelude looks like it should be rear-wheel drive.
Yes, the good old prestige
So
gap.
if Ford had made the Continental off of the Mustang chassis, it'd be a rear-wheel drive bias.
Speaking of this prestige gap and four doors and rear-wheel drive like V8 cars, please bring up the Jag. I never remember the Jag names. They're just not significant enough. You know what I just said. 4 doors, V8, rear-wheel drive, Jaguar. Which one is that? XK? XK something or the other? The one that's fucking sick, dude. I want to see the... what did you say what the gap was? Prestige gap. I want to see the prestige gap
XKE?
on that little hoe. No.
Well, I
You
mean,
put
it has it,
XL.
but...
No. The brand new one. The one that's out now.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, so I'm
XJ.
like just
It's
typing
XJ.
shit.
You figured it out.
It's got
Ooh,
gap.
low prestige gap.
It's got more gap. Like, you compare that to the Continental. The Continental's like on its front wheel.
You know what I'm going to say? Let's pull it up. I think this podcast has just been us comparing two Google searches to... You could probably even... Like that white, I feel like that white car, the white one was better if you go down. Maybe. It's still
I want to get a
angle.
profile view, like sideways.
Oh, there's one. Go scroll back down. Right there.
Oh, yeah, perfect. If you look, the base of that windshield...
Can you make it bigger, please?
You have to say please.
Please and thank you, Mr. Solanchi. Thank you so much. That's huge.
That's big.
Big it. Something big as hell. You want to try to find a better one? Do you think that's great? Good stuff. There's the side-on one. Second picture. Side-on. Yeah,
It's not
side-on.
directly side-on. It's not head-on. Apply directly to the forehead.
Head-on. Apply directly to the forehead. Head-on. Apply directly to the forehead.
Very effective advertising campaign, that.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't waste a second or a dollar, did
Yeah.
they? All right, Prestige Gap. Adrian, go off, King.
All right, so obviously big space there compared to the other one, and the base of that pillar is back here.
Yeah.
Back from there, you go to the Continental, and the base of this A pillar is right over that.
Yeah.
And that's why this looks front-wheel drive and looks kind of squished.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, so so you were going into why you would have to actually stretch that because of the engine shape?
Yeah.
Engine transmission shape?
Because the
Yeah.
engine's going from being sideways in factory setup, which makes it very compact front to back,
Yeah.
to being transverse or longitudinally mounted, which is much longer.
Yeah.
So there's physically not enough space. So you have to stretch the whole front of the car out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and I think in this case, like, I'm going to go back and watch a video, the YouTube video, and see what the progress is.
either
on
that or you're
that.
shoving the back of the engine under the dash and by your feet.
Correct. Yeah, and I would say, like, that's probably the more traditional way that people have like made engines fit into cars is like they just like cut out like a new trans tunnel for it. But on something like this, it's just such. I think what they were trying to do is like keep the aesthetics on the inside, and if they did, the dash is no longer going to fit.
Yeah,
a lot of the center.
The other
console's not
thing,
gonna fit.
I like this Continental. Yeah, I don't
It's a good car.
despise it.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I think it would have been a much bigger hit
Yeah.
if they had made it rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Like make it like a
Yeah.
CTS.
I mean, look, if you make $150,000 a year and you want a car, you bought a Continental. You bought this thing. That's it. You just the money's not really an issue, and Continentals are nice.
yeah, I mean these didn't
You know?
sell. I don't think they sold horribly, but they didn't sell like fantastic.
Yeah.
And the other thing,
Basically, if you were boring, you bought
front-wheel
one.
drive in a luxury car, like front-wheel drive just kind of has that stigma.
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's not the correct way to do a luxury car. Jaguar,
LS
Mercedes,
LS
BMW,
430.
and Audi. Even Audi does
460.
all-wheel drive, but they're still longitudinally mounted.
Yeah.
They're not transverse mounted. So they all have that longer hood. You know, the wheels are pushed out away from the base of the A-pillar. And then you come over to Ford, which does nothing but badge engineering for Lincoln. You know, the Navigator's an Expedition. The MK whatever is a Taurus. The MK thingy thing is a fucking Fusion. Or now they've got SUVs. And they have changed to real names now. They've got rid of the alphanumeric stuff. You got the Navigator, the Aviator, the Nautilus, I think. Is it Nautilus? I don't know. But they're going to some like actual nice names. But they're still just badge engineered. You've got Ford Flex in a suit, Ford Edge in a suit, Ford Escape in a suit, Ford Taurus in a suit.
Yeah.
Giving this thing, rear-wheel drive chassis off of the Mustang, even if it was a Mustang in a suit, that's way better than a Taurus in a suit.
Yeah.
And I think they could have positioned it to be like a Cadillac CTS or a BMW like 5 Series competitor.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I do feel like the Cadillac is alone on the American side on that.
Yeah, Cadillac's doing all the fucking heavy lifting and saying like, hey, we can build a competent luxury car as well. These are nice.
Yeah.
They're nice.
Yeah.
But they're not anything special.
Yeah. If you actually care and you have that much money, you gotta buy a CTS. It doesn't need to be a V, but like the CTS is where you're gonna end up.
Like there's nothing.
The same thing. Like you always say, like there's like that heritage car behind.
There's
it.
nothing.
Lincoln's got nothing.
Nothing anymore, which sucks. Is Lincoln has a great heritage.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in Lincoln's lineup that would persuade me to buy a Lincoln over, say, a Lexus.
Right. Yeah.
Hell, even Acura.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, money. You know, if it's money, you're gonna end up in an Acura. But like Lincoln versus Lexus, it's probably pretty close, money
and I'm
wise.
definitely going Lexus.
You're gonna be way happier, honestly. No offense, Lincoln.
Speaking of which, me and Fluff were just talking about something from Lexus, like just the other night. You worked for Lexus, actually. Allegedly. Do you remember that little infotainment thing they had?
Yeah.
Was that not like the coolest fucking thing ever?
Dude, it was sick. I love it. I was literally gonna say that. I was like, I can't wait because like I think I've heard people say that like they don't like it.
Yeah, I've seen so many people say they hate it, like on like reviews and shit. And I'm like, what do you mean?
No, it was actually fucking great, and like the way that it would work, and it would click like a mouse. It worked so well,
and the haptic feedback changed. Like if you had a nav screen up and you had your options list on the side and on the bottom, if you went over here, like that way with it, it was smooth. It moved with no resistance. Yeah. And you went over to the buttons, it would snap in place.
Yep.
And it would change with the menu.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever try out the one that actually has like a thumb pad, like a laptop? They have one that has like a laptop pad.
It was. I remember there was one that I messed with that had that moving thing, but the top of it was also like a touchpad.
So
you could like swipe on that.
Yeah, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. I know that there was like the one where like it almost had like an ergonomic mouse, and then the top of it was like a square, and then that would like move back and forth, and you could kind of toggle through all your screens and then click through things. And then there was one that had like nothing, but then it had just like a mouse pad. I
don't think I ever messed with the mouth.
I think
mouse
it had a
pad
mouse
one.
He pull that up just so maybe I'm not remembering it because now I'm almost thinking that it had both. It may have had that little movie thing, like the ergonomic mouse, and it had the little pad.
What the?
Or maybe it just had little clickers. I forget. Now I'm forgetting.
That.
Yes. Yeah. So that thing. So that, believe it or not, sucked.
But that
did suck.
We liked
that
this.
That thing was awesome.
That thing was sick.
Yeah, like it was literally a little ergonomic mouse.
And this would move, and it would haptic feedback that would change with what was on the screen. And it was so cool. And I think on some of them, that might have been like touch sensitive, so you could scroll if you had a list. I don't remember for sure though.
Maybe
I've only messed with a couple.
Yeah, but if you go back to like the little mouse pad one. But I didn't have that up on the screen. But yeah, that was the one that fucking sucked, dude. That was like the latest one right before I left.
Yeah, I can only imagine trying to navigate that while driving over fucking expansion joints on the highway.
Yeah. I mean, or just like physically stopped.
Yeah. Dude, even then.
It's just not good. If you've used a laptop, you know that like the little like trackpad thing sucks. You know? It's like why they got rid of that and went to that? Same thing. It's like that worked so well.
That was so cool.
Yeah,
I'd like
so
that on a
cool.
computer, honestly.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like if you look up like an ergonomic mouse, it looks exactly the same. It's got a little button to click on the side. You know, yeah, it was cool.
That thing was sick. I like
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, and that's why, like, you know, people will always say, like, why would you buy a Lexus? It's like for the same money, you could have a BMW, and there's so much more like luxury and niceness, and you know.
I don't know about luxury.
And it certainly luxury.
You think BMW is more luxurious than Lexus?
Correct.
Sporty, yes.
Correct.
I don't know about luxury.
I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't been in a BMW in a long time, so I don't want to talk about it right now. But I'm saying, like,
From your
between
experience in Lexus?
2010, yeah. And I'm not saying the Lexus is like the worst thing in the world, but like it's literally the same product that is like the same dash that's just wrapped in a little bit of foam and leather. Yeah. And so no, the gaps aren't that great on the inside.
Maybe you're only saying that because we don't have the budget BMWs in America, and BMW doesn't have a budget brand below them.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I guess,
I'm just saying, all I'm saying is like
the
just
good litmus
even,
test for that would be? Comparing Volkswagens to Audis.
Not really, dude. No. Because Lexus is like that brand for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like comparing like an Acura to Lincoln. Like you were just saying. That's what that comparison's actually like.
What? Audi and Volkswagen?
No, Lexus versus BMW.
Well, no, I'm talking about how you said that, you know, the Lexus dash is a Toyota dash with a bit of foam and leather.
Right.
Is an Audi dash not just a Volkswagen dash with a bit of foam and leather? Maybe some wood?
No, definitely not. I mean, I bet you they probably share a factory, but you're not going to physically find the same exact dash. Like if you buy an ES, a Lexus ES, it actually is
a Camry dash.
It's a Camry. Like, you know, like it might have the different shapes, but it got made in the same factory with like the exact
same molds.
Yeah. Like, you know, like you're
right,
centered.
I believe you, but I need to see this for
I would
myself.
say like you're centered in for your dash, like the computer.
So what, like the ES350?
Yeah, but like your the dash itself for where the radio is going to be a little bit different, but like the climate controls is going to be the same.
They might be different now. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and again,
like
I said, like back then is what I'm talking about, where like it was.
But I do know what you're talking about because Honda's really good for that with the Acura.
Yeah.
Like I was driving that TSX, I'm like, this is just an Accord.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like an Accord. It feels like an Accord with a leather steering wheel in my hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toyota Camry interior crocodile alligator.
I mean, do you want to pick a specific year?
Well, I'm hoping I'm just getting the newest of both.
Oh, okay.
These are not good pictures.
There you go.
2016. Okay, so we're gonna go with 2016 Camry.
I was gonna say that one I just saw was like that was familiar as hell.
There's some differences.
Let me see. Just keep flipping. I mean, it's pretty gosh. Yeah, there's some differences.
Just the whole dash shape.
Yeah, and then again, like, I mean, like I guess obviously like it's gonna have a different shape, but I'm not saying that I would also just.
Okay, this looks like a Toyota.
Yeah.
You go back to like the 20 when you were messing with like when you were.
Those are the cars I actually worked on.
Yeah, that's a Toyota.
2010 ES with like that. Yeah, I'd actually.
That's 100% a Toyota.
Yeah.
So they've gotten better.
Good old 3.3 liter.
They have gotten better.
Yeah. Yeah, but even still, like my point is, you know, like I don't personally know that much about Audi and Volkswagen, and I know that they're sister companies, but like it does feel like there's a lot of distance between the two brands.
Well,
whereas like Toyota and
Lexus, they started as two different companies, but Volkswagen bought them out.
Yeah,
and they share a lot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that like, you know, for
Lexus was made by Toyota.
Yeah,
specifically.
Yeah, I would say.
So that definitely brings them a little closer.
Yeah, the closer I looked at them, the
less impressed you got.
Yeah, just the less impressed. But at the same time, I also like because of how reliable and how close they were to Toyotas. I loved them so much. Where like even today, like I still aspire to have a GS. I want one.
I like the old school LS 400.
Yeah,
and Alden just bought one, so I need to go see that thing. Hopefully tomorrow at St. Pete's.
Yeah, they are cool. You know what I like hate but love was the SC 430.
You had one.
I did not. I had an SC 400. It's a big difference.
Oh,
Please
yes,
look up.
yes. No, completely different cars. I'm so
Yes,
sorry. I
that's
didn't mean
okay.
to
You were
disrespect the
typing.
SC 400 that bad.
You were typing. It's okay.
Acura Vigor kind of goes hard. I like that interior.
Ooh. I know this. Glad you brought this up because Honda and Acura, they did have, or I should say, just Acura had a crazy run of cars that only came in Japan, where like they had like little paisley like curtains and shit. Like they went hard on some of their stuff, where like they were like sedans, but they were sold as limousines. Like
Yeah.
like I saw like
you bought that with the intention of hiring a chauffeur.
Yeah, like where like the back seats had like different tables and stuff that like folded out, like special edition stuff.
Yeah,
where they had like little tables and like they had the controls just for like all the HVAC and lighting in the back. Like it was nuts.
Yeah,
I forget there was I'm
kind of falling in love with the Acura Vigor. Every once in a while, I remember this car exists.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh shit,
it kind of has like
these.
that new Legacy vibe. Have you seen the like that last generation of the Legacy? Or no, is it Legacy? Is that or Legend? I'm thinking the Legend.
Acura Legend.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Legend,
the final.
I think the Acura Legend came out after the Vigor. That kind of replaced it.
But the last gen of the.
I mean, I like the Acura Legend too.
Yeah.
Those things are pretty sick.
Yeah.
Especially the coupes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one that's these things are sweet. That's a 4-door one, but yeah, the coupe is pretty sick. There's one of these. There's a 4-door one of these. It's like sitting at this little business down the street, not far from my house, and it just sits there.
All right, Legend or Vigor? Which one do you want?
I'm going with like after seeing them both, I think the Vigor kind of has a vibe.
Yeah, and
I think they're both good.
The Vigor is interesting to me because it's got a longitudinally mounted inline 5.
Wow, I didn't even know that Acura or Honda made an inline 5.
And it's still front wheel drive.
Darn it.
Honda is absolutely allergic to rear wheel drive, and they've only dabbled with it like twice, and both times it was perfect, and then they were like, never again.
Literally, yeah. Yeah.
Like, come on, Honda. Set yourself free.
I know, and I've shit on the S2K plenty, and I'm mad that didn't go viral. I shit on it hard. I think if it still that's the one the Legend right up. That's the one that's sitting at that business.
Yeah.
Like that is the last year of, I believe, the Legend. That I would take over the Vigor all day. Go back to that and like click on K Sport USA. I want to get to that website. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good looking.
Yeah, 2.5 and a 276.
You know what? Why don't we get one of these, and just to prove the haters wrong, we'll get that 2JZ GE in a turbo and drop it in one of these bad boys.
Take it all. I'm gonna cut this out. I don't want anybody to steal I don't want anybody to steal the idea, dude.
That thing'd be sick.
That would be fucking tight.
Yeah, the Legends and the Vigors both. I love them. They're underrated,
yeah, dude. I mean,
and again, they've got that prestige gap, so they look like they should be rear wheel drive.
Oh my god, we have to think about this. Okay, let's end it. We have to end the podcast.
Yeah,
I think we're done.
You wanted to keep this one short. We're already 2 hours in.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be less than that probably. We're gonna edit some of like at the beginning.
Yeah, I think you're only gonna need to pull like 10, 15 minutes out though. So
we'll
call it a good 2 hour
We chit chatted
podcast.
before we went live for a while.
Yeah.
So let's call this pod. And hey, like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. Please comment on a bunch of stuff. Don't steal our ideas. Thanks. Love you. Bye.
Baby, let me take you